Welcome to the Voice of the Prophet. My name is Pastor Emmanuel Renee. I have with me
Minister Danielle.
Praise the Lord. Well,
Amen.
I guess we are on Valentine's Day.
Yes, for Valentine's
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody, and press like and share.
Yes,
Amen.
yes.
Good
Amen.
stuff. Well, we're going to talk about today beating the blues of loneliness.
Ah, that's a good
Perfect
one.
day, right?
Perfect day.
Perfect day
Perfect.
to deal with. It's part of our emotional evolution.
Yes.
We're going to talk about what is loneliness.
What is loneliness? That's good.
What is loneliness? A lot of time I wanted to talk on that the aspect of what is lonely. Sometimes we look at lonely as not having anybody, so we
Yes.
call that lonely.
Yeah.
Not having a boyfriend, not having a husband, that is called loneliness. But now there are some people who have all those things,
And
then they still feel
still
lonely.
feel lonely.
So when I begin to think about it, loneliness is not having somebody there.
Yeah.
Because if loneliness is not being lonely is having somebody there,
Yeah.
then why is somebody who have somebody then lonely?
Still feel lonely.
So
yes.
it's something deeper
Deeper
than
than that.
just loneliness, that's going inside. Now, I feel like those things can be misconstrued or misinterpreted
Okay. So it's
for something deeper,
deeper. Yeah.
and we substitute people
For that missing part.
for that missing part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And then when they disappoint you, you feel like, hey, why am I still lonely? Because I do believe loneliness, it is the absence of God in the spirit.
That is good. Yes. Yeah.
I do believe it's the absence of God, but you feel it in your flesh, but your flesh cannot interpret
Yes.
what is in your
In
spirit.
Yeah.
So now what they're trying to do is trying to grab something,
Yes.
because they don't understand what it's feeling.
Yeah. That's good.
So, we get sex,
Yeah.
we get people,
Yeah.
we get things. We involve other people to meet what you call lonely.
Loneliness. Yeah. Wow.
But it doesn't
That's
really mean you need the person.
Yeah.
You just need to meet a need. So we have to be careful when we enter into relationship with people. You get them to meet a need, and you just really using them for whatever it is
that
that
is
you
good.
lack inside yourself. So you have really asked yourself, do I really need this person to be in my life? Does it complement me, or I'm just having that need being met? Because there is no way you can interpret loneliness. We try to, just
Yeah.
like you can interpret depression,
Yeah. That's
because
true.
it's something of spirit,
Yeah. Wow.
which we see manifestation in the physical realm. But it
Yes.
is, we're talking about loneliness is not the lack of companionship or physical contact. It is a deeper loneliness in the
Yeah.
soul for a touch of God.
That is good.
For a touch of God.
That is
Not a
good.
touch of Jimmy
Yeah. Or Suzanne.
or Suzanne. But you need your soul, because I do believe our flesh cannot interpret the soul.
No, it can't.
Because Paul said something very powerful concerning that they two battles.
Yeah.
So we know there's between my spirit and my flesh, there's a
Yeah,
battle
there's a
going on
battle.
anyway.
Yeah.
So now my flesh, my spirit is feeling certain,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So it's trying to interpret it.
That is good. That is so true.
That's why a lot of times when you break up and your flesh will interpret whatever you lost as ice cream or pizza
Okay. Yeah.
or whatever us to meet.
Yeah.
They call it some kind of eating.
Emotional eating.
Emotional
yeah,
eating.
They call it emotional eating.
Yeah.
Because
Because you're trying to substitute something else
yeah.
for something
Something
else.
else, yeah.
So my question today, very powerful day, where people are gonna feel like I don't have somebody, I don't
Yeah.
have somebody, to make me feel. And I think that, talking about that, I want to talk about self-love. Because I think that we misconstrue. We want
Jeez.
other people to love us.
Yeah.
But we don't. I think a lot of people, they put in the job of being loved or feel love
On someone else.
on someone else.
Yeah.
But in the point, you don't love you. And I think self-love is so very powerful.
Yeah.
The Bible says it. The Bible said that love yourself, and as you love your neighbor. It's okay to have companionship. It's okay to have somebody there. but you can have somebody and talking to them and still feel empty
Yes.
in your soul.
Yes.
And I think that the loneliness of our soul and our spirit is a nudging of God, telling us there's something deeper.
There's something deeper.
Now, a guy can come in
Oof.
and have all the sex in the world to meet those things, you know,
But never feel.
you know, and never feel it,
Yeah.
and never come. I think that it is a beginning relationship with God. It is something much more deeper in the soul, where I need to communicate with God, and I need God to touch me in my soul.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
Jimmy can touch you in your flesh, but God
Yeah.
needs to touch your soul.
Soul,
Your,
the deep.
the deeper part, the real you,
The real you, yeah.
not the part of you that will die,
Yeah. Wow.
but the part of you that will live forever. Jimmy can never touch that.
Yeah. That's
Jimmy
true.
can never touch the part. He can touch certain parts of your body, but he can never touch the part of you
Yeah.
that is eternal,
Yeah.
that is forever. So that's why we have to understand. Just because you feel in a certain way, I think that we choose people. We get people into our lives, we get people into our situation because you don't interpret how you feeling. And when there's no such thing as you being lonely, you know, and we're going to deal with that
Yeah.
today
Wow. That is
and
good.
really get delivered
Oh,
and set free
you
today.
delivered us today.
You know, I'm going to let you say something if you want to say something about that part.
No, I think that's so true. I think a lot of times that, I believe you said one time that like there's a part of you that's reserved for God. You know, that there's this vacuum there's on the inside of you that's reserved for God. And a lot of times, even us as believers, when we have that so-called feeling of I'm alone or loneliness or that emptiness, I don't know if maybe that's how they explain it, or like something is missing, and so we grab people to try to feel like that's going to fill the void, or people, you know, grab people or other things to try to fill that void, thinking that that's going to complete them, and then they never really think that it's kind of in a sense of that emptiness is a call or a pull that you need more of God.
I look at it sometimes. We have not really understood the oneness of God.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, God is so, you know, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. They all one.
Yeah.
That means that anything I reach out to, I don't reach out to for it to meet any need, but for it to experience my wholeness.
Oh, Jesus. That's good. That's good.
You know?
Yeah.
If you're lonely, no one can ever, people should experience your wholeness,
yeah.
not your neediness.
Yes, that is good. That is
You
good.
understand?
Yeah.
Because you should have a relationship about your wholeness,
Yeah.
meaning that I don't need anything from you to fulfill
right,
me.
you're satisfied in
But
itself.
we are. I'm satisfied within myself.
Yeah.
But we are enjoying the presence of who we are.
Right, yes.
You
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
So God, you know, He said something in the book of Psalm. He said, if I was hungry, I would not tell you. He said that if a thousand goats and 1,000 here is mine. So what He's saying, I don't really need you to meet anything for me. I'm reaching out to you because of my wholeness or my love.
Yeah. Yes.
And I do believe that you can never truly walk in love until you walk in wholeness.
That's true. That is
Because
true.
if you're not walking in wholeness, then you're always asking for somebody to give you something you don't have.
Right, right. Always looking for it from somebody else externally.
Externally.
Yeah.
So you make my life miserable because you want something.
Right,
I'm
because
trying to look for
depending on
myself.
you
I'm
to give me
depending
that
on
thing
you.
when actually
Yeah.
it's already on the inside of you.
I'm looking for it myself.
Yeah.
How can I give you something? I'm looking
That,
for it
like,
myself.
we're searching for it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's good.
now we have to look now. The world. We want to make this point. The
Yeah.
world don't know what we talk. I'm talking to
Yeah.
Christian people, and maybe the people who's not saved can listen
Yeah.
to this. But the world will look at fleshy things to substitute those things.
Yes. Yeah. To
Sex,
satisfy.
drugs, alcohol, all these other things to satisfy the loneliness of the soul, the loneliness of the spirit.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
to find out in truth, loneliness is a state of mind of what you believe.
Yeah. That's
Loneliness is a state of mind that you have.
State of mind.
It's a state of mind that you tell yourself you're lonely.
Right. Like, who told you you're lonely?
Exactly. Who told
That's
you you're
true.
naked?
Who told you you're naked? Yeah. Who told you that?
You know, so
Yeah.
it's a awareness of the mind and of the soul.
That's good.
Now, it is good to have human
Interaction,
interaction,
yeah.
interaction,
Yeah.
because God have called us to have human interaction.
Yeah.
But you can have human interaction and be lonely. You can have 1,000 people,
That is true.
100,000 people in the room,
And feel by
like it's
yourself.
by yourself.
By
So
yourself.
it's not an external
thing.
mindset. It's an internal thing.
Yeah.
So we need to look internally to meet the needs
Yeah.
of that, because that's why you can, when you are feeling the need of
Jeez.
loneliness, you pick wrong
Yeah. Out of need.
out of need.
Yeah. Yes.
And you don't pick out of your wholeness.
Oh, that's good. That is good. Yeah.
Now it's different. If I'm hungry, I can eat anything.
Right.
But if I'm not that hungry,
Yes.
I make better choices.
Make better choices. I'll wait for what I want.
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
So
Better
most of our choices is seen in our waistline, because we wait till
Lord.
we're hungry. We wait till we're
Lord
hungry.
Jesus.
We wait till we have
Yeah.
a need, instead of choosing mindful eating or mindful choices.
Mindful
or
choices,
mindful. I'm
yeah.
choosing something that complements,
Yeah.
not something that meets
It's
a
a need
need
for the moment.
for the moment.
Yeah.
So now,
That's good.
as we turn internally, Psalm 16:11 says, what?
You will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy.
So we find out in
Ah.
the presence of God, that's where you understand the fullness of joy. Because a lot of times when people say they're
on.
lonely, they say, I'm not happy. And if I have the car, I'd be happy. If I have Jimmy, I'd be happy. If I have this.
Yeah.
So we find out we putting a lot of things to be happy, where God said the joy only come in His presence.
Wow. In His presence. Yeah.
And His presence
That's true.
is the fullness of joy.
Wow. The
You know?
fullness of joy is
So
in His
we
presence.
have to silence the voice of our flesh to stop making choices that our spirit pays for.
That is good. That is true. Yeah, because you're always trying to fill a void and feeling empty, thinking this or that, or this thing is going to fill it, and then you get disappointed because you understand that you made decisions out of need, out of, like you said, out of hunger.
Out of hunger.
Out of hunger. Yeah. because you want
Sometimes
something
we have to
abundant.
sit in the loneliness until the Spirit speaks.
Yeah, that is good. Sit in the loneliness until the Spirit speaks.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because then you're going to find out, and He said, in your right hand, there are pleasures forevermore.
Lord.
So we find out there's two things in the Spirit, that there's joy and pleasures, which the flesh trying to imitate through sex.
That is good.
So now the flesh now will try to answer where your spirit is silenced
Yeah.
by adding
Yeah.
more fleshy
Flesh.
things,
Yeah.
more sexual things, more
Yeah.
more mundane things, more
Yeah.
worldly things that will bring more loneliness and more dissatisfaction and more
Mm-hmm. It's not
hurt
gonna
and
feel
more
anything.
pain. It's not going to feel it.
Nope.
So we look at it, and it is a spiritual thing that's, even if you save or unsaved,
It's the same thing.
we
Yeah.
need that presence of God.
Yeah.
And everything is leading us to that thing.
Wow.
Because in a catechism, we learn
Yeah.
that there's a vacuum in men.
Vacuum. Yes.
That we trying to put our job, we trying to put our children, we trying to put
Jeez, all
career.
these
We
things.
put all these things trying to fill the
Yeah.
vacuum that
It's
only
reserved.
God, that's reserved for God.
Reserved for God.
So
Yeah.
now, if you don't know about the vacuum, you will call it loneliness and trying to fill it with Jimmy, with Jane, with John, and all these other things that you really don't need, until you understand that only through God then you find the satisfaction. And then in your wholeness, then you have relationship.
Wow.
We having relationship out of a hurt, out of
Yeah.
our loneliness, out of our pain, out of rejection, out of everything else.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to go back to number one and
Yeah.
start all over and scratch. But
Yes, that is good.
Matthew 6:38, we find out as we seek God, you know, in the loneliness, we trying to go, when people are lonely, they're trying to go to the clubs.
Yeah.
You know, when people are lonely, they make themselves available in the job or whatever. They want to meet somebody, talk to somebody, and you're not even healed. You're not even together. In Matthew 6:38, we'll let you. Can you read that, please?
Was it
Or
33?
6? Yes, 33.
It says, but first and most importantly, seek, aim at, strive after His kingdom and His righteousness, His way of doing and being right, the attitude and character of God, and all these things will be given to
See,
you also.
not only money will be added. See, we trying to seek
Yeah.
the kingdom when you need money.
Right?
But when you're feeling lonely, seek
Yes,
the kingdom too.
Yeah.
But when we feel lonely, the flesh trying to interpret it by you doing your hair, by you doing this, going in the world, and you know what? I need to meet somebody, and I need to hook up with this one, so it can fulfill a loneliness only my spirit can interpret. But the Bible said that seek ye first the kingdom and the loneliness, and then guess what happened? Whatever it is that you need, God gonna add it to you, not Tommy.
Ah, that is good. That is good. Yeah, because that's what we do.
That's what you do. As you seek and you find out, you get more into trouble.
Won't you get in trouble?
Because we find it. People will leave this one because whatever happened with this one, now I'm going to somebody else.
Yeah.
To meet something else because I couldn't find it anywhere else. Instead of working on you. Not working on Jimmy, because Jimmy's not the problem. Because guess what? I read something this morning. It said that if you're calling somebody toxic, it takes another toxic person to have a relationship with.
Wow. That is true. There's two sides.
There's two sides.
Yeah.
You're a problem too.
Yeah.
You are a problem to the situation. So when we begin to look at each other and begin to look at ourselves and seeking God in the loneliness time, in the pain time of trying to identify what do I really need. You know, I look at loneliness like this, right? I call loneliness this. When you get $50,000 in your pocket, what's the first thing you want to do?
Well, most people want to go crazy with it. They want to spend it.
Exactly. You want to go buy something to feel a need.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same thing loneliness does.
Yeah.
The minute you get lonely, you think the first thing to do is to find somebody else instead of looking internally. You start looking externally.
Yes.
Because now in your loneliness, listen to this, there's also rejection.
Okay. Oh, you're going deep today, huh?
There's also a rejection that you trying to tell the person, even though you rejected me, I want to show you somebody else want me.
That is good. That is deep. That's deep, sir.
So you keep making choices and your loneliness and your hurt and your pain instead of really looking inwards. Instead of keep looking externally.
Yeah. Instead of looking internally, we look externally.
Exactly.
And maybe not understanding that it's a call to go deeper in God.
Exactly. And you trying to find somebody else who's not broken in the same place you broken to feel you. But they broken though.
But they broken.
They broken.
Some kind of form of fashion.
Some kind of form of fashion.
Oh yeah.
They are broken. Now the greatest thing is if you're broken and you're in the process of looking internally to get healed, then we understand I'm working on me and you working on you. We do what we need to do. But that's where the problem of loneliness comes from. Now Joshua chapter 1 verse 5 to 6. You know, so maybe what we're calling loneliness is not loneliness. Maybe loneliness is a signal for us to look inward instead of looking outward.
Yes, and that's the mistake we always make. The stuff like that, when that happens, we go externally and we never look internally, and then we keep repeating the same cycle over and over again, and always feeling lonely and understanding those things don't satisfy. Okay, Joshua chapter 1, verse 1?
5 and 6.
Oh, 5 and 6? It says, "No man will be able to stand before you to oppose you as long as you live. Just as I was present with Moses, so will I be with you. I will not fail you or abandon you."
Jimmy abandoned you, but God said I won't.
Yes, that's what he said. I will not fail or abandon you. Be strong and confident and courageous, for you will give this people as an inheritance the land which I swore to their fathers, ancestors, to give them.
So we found out that according to that, you find your worth in God. You don't, in the time of loneliness, you don't find your worth in something else. Because a lot of times we do things to find our worth by choosing other people, by buying something, by making mistakes. And then you keep making the same mistakes over because we're trying to find our worth. Because somewhere along the line, we gave our worth on how somebody else thought about you.
Somebody else's viewpoint on
or a title.
Yeah, that is true.
Wife.
Yes.
Girlfriend, boyfriend. That title, you say it's your worth. Because you're nothing without those titles. You're nothing without somebody. But the thing is, that's a lie. You are something with God with you.
Yes.
If no one is standing, because He said, "I'll be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you." You know, so this is why loneliness is a deeper call to go inward and to seek God.
That is good.
Not to go outward to seek Joe or Jane and find your worth in them. But it's to go inward to reset yourself
This is
and
good.
find your worth in God.
Yes, find your worth in God, discovering who you are, who you truly are,
Exactly.
and not putting your value depending on what people see you as, but who God sees you as.
Exactly.
That is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
that's the good stuff, y'all.
Praise the Lord.
Deliverance.
Well, my name is Pastor Maga Renee.
And I'm Minister Danielle.
We have one thing to say to you.
Jesus is Lord.
God bless you.
Amen.